Warning, this one habit enlarges your prostate. If you're over 60, this video could change your life. If you've noticed frequent urination, or even waking up at night just to pee, if it's hard to start or stop the flow, your prostate may already be silently enlarging. But the truth is, it's not always about age. It's often about what you're doing every single day. I'm Dr. Cole, a prostate health specialist with 35 years of experience helping thousands of men over 60. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s living strong, pain-free, and confident lives just by changing a few habits. But I've also seen others suffer deeply because they ignored the early warning signs. In this video, I'll reveal 10 familiar daily habits that quietly speed up prostate enlargement. And habit number 1 is the most dangerous of all. I'm not making this video to scare you. I'm making it so you can see clearly. Aging is not a sentence. But if you don't act today, the price you'll pay may go far beyond your health. It may cost you your independence, your confidence, and your dignity as a man. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to stop your prostate from growing, naturally, gently, and safely. But before we dive in, leave me a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. Now let's count down the 9 daily habits that may be silently enlarging your prostate right now, and why your doctor likely hasn't mentioned a single one. Habit number 9, too much sitting, the silent habit that's killing your prostate. There's one thing nearly every man over 60 does every single day without realizing it's silently suffocating his prostate. I'm talking about sitting too much. The couch, the car seat, the desk chair, the spot in front of the TV, we spend hours stuck there, not moving, not shifting. And with every passing minute, the blood flow in your pelvic region slows down, like a river being dammed. And what happens to stagnant water? It breeds waste, bacteria, and inflammation. Inside your body, that means your prostate is under a quiet, daily attack. I once had a patient named David, a 65-year-old early retiree who loved reading and watching the news every night. He thought that was a peaceful life. But within just 1 year, he started waking up 5 times a night to pee and had to wear pads in his underwear just in case. When we examined him, his prostate had doubled in size. But here's the strange part. There was no infection, no tumor, just years of sitting still. Thankfully, we caught it early. I told him to stand up and walk around every 30 minutes, go for a 10-minute walk after meals, and do a few simple leg stretches. 3 weeks later, he returned with a glowing smile. I slept through the whole night, for the first time in 8 months. If you're thinking, that sounds like me, then don't ignore it. Too much sitting doesn't just enlarge the prostate. It also weakens your pelvic floor muscles, reduces bladder control, and can eventually lead to total loss of urinary control. Don't be the next man who ends up with a catheter just because you got too comfortable in your chair. Stand up, let the blood flow. Your prostate needs to breathe. Habit number 8, not masturbating, the unexpected high cost. Many men over 60 often whisper to each other an outdated belief, "I'm too old for that now." They chuckle, dismiss the thought, and assume that once desire goes quiet, there's no reason to wake it again. But the truth is, every time you avoid touching yourself or your partner, you're quietly pushing your prostate towards swelling, inflammation, and dysfunction. When there's no sexual activity, whether regular intercourse or healthy masturbation, semen builds up and remains unreleased. That stagnation creates the perfect environment for infection, irritation, and pressure, leading to disruptions in urination and sexual function. You might start feeling your bladder is heavier, your urine stream is weaker, or there's a constant nagging pressure in your lower abdomen. If left unchecked, this can progress to urinary retention, bladder infections, or even the need for a catheter. And here's what's even more dangerous. Chronic congestion in the prostate can silently evolve into more serious conditions like benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, a condition affecting nearly 50% of men over 60. Scientific studies have found that men who ejaculate 21 times or more per month have a significantly lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who don't. Let me be clear, this isn't about chasing youthful lust or encouraging compulsive behavior. This is not fantasy, it's biology. It's about using your body's natural processes to protect and support your health in the simplest way possible. I've had patients who were too afraid to leave the house because they couldn't trust their own bladder. I've seen once confident, high-performing men lie awake at night, anxious and ashamed over a problem that could have been prevented with one small act: regular self-pleasure. When you stop masturbating in your later years, you're not just giving up pleasure, you're opening the door to inflammation, discomfort, and the slow, painful loss of control over one of your most basic bodily functions: urination. Masturbation in old age is not indulgent, it's a form of self-care, a deeply human reminder that you still live in your body and that your well-being still matters. One patient once told me, "I didn't realize how much I missed myself until I finally touched myself again." And that's the heart of it. Not just surviving, but truly living. And it only requires your permission to let yourself feel, to reconnect, to be intimate again, especially now. If you've ever forgotten, buried, or judged that part of yourself, I invite you to reconsider, because you're still here. Habit number 7, drinking too little water. A small mistake, a big price. Did you know that one of the most dangerous mistakes men over 60 make every single day is drinking too little water in hopes of avoiding nighttime urination? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the frightening truth is this: the less water you drink, the more serious the consequences become, far worse than simply waking up a few times a night to pee. Think of it this way: every time you intentionally limit your water intake, your body lacks the fluids it needs to dilute your urine. The result? Your urine becomes more concentrated, thick, acidic, almost corrosive, and it starts irritating your bladder and prostate. Each bathroom trip becomes an internal battle as the bladder cramps and the prostate gets compressed and inflamed. You may think cutting back on water is the solution, but in reality, it's a quiet, dangerous form of self-destruction. Many patients have confessed to me, "Doctor, I tried to drink less water, but now I'm dealing with even worse problems." And when we ran tests, we found their prostates were inflamed to alarming levels. To avoid this painful outcome, sip small amounts of water throughout the day rather than avoiding fluids entirely. Don't wait until you're thirsty. Drink enough to keep your urine clear or light yellow. Don't gamble your prostate health just to avoid a few nighttime awakenings. The cost is far greater than a couple of lost hours of sleep. And be warned, the next habit could be silently destroying your prostate even faster than you think. Habit number 6, a diet high in red meat and fried foods, poisoning your prostate from the inside out. If you think a few slices of steak or some crispy fried chicken couldn't possibly harm your body, then listen closely to what I'm about to say. The harsh truth is that many men in their 60s and 70s are slowly poisoning their prostates every single day, without even realizing it. The culprit? Those rich red meats and fried favorites you've loved for decades. Red meat, fried foods, and processed meals don't just clog your arteries with saturated fats. They silently trigger chronic inflammation throughout your body. Have you ever wondered why otherwise healthy men suddenly start waking up to pee multiple times a night, feel weaker urine flow, or experience discomfort during urination? It's often because their prostates are quietly swelling and inflaming from the inside. No sharp pain, no early warnings, until it's too late. I once had a patient named Walter, age 69, a lifelong lover of steak and French fries. He told me, "Food is my last joy in life, Doc. How can I give that up?" But when his nighttime bathroom trips worsened and his prostate grew so large it nearly blocked his urine flow entirely, Walter agreed to make a change. He swapped beef for salmon, leafy greens, and lentils. After just 1 month, he returned to my office with relief in his eyes. I never imagined changing a few things on my plate could make life feel this good. I slept through the night without waking up once. You see, it's not about giving up your favorite foods forever. It's about making smarter choices to protect your prostate. You don't have to ban beef for life, but eat it in moderation and let anti-inflammatory foods like fish, olive oil, nuts, and vegetables take center stage in your meals. Remember, the small decisions you make today will determine your comfort and health for years to come. Don't wait until your prostate becomes too swollen, too far gone, to realize that you had another choice all along. It's now or never. The choice is yours. Habit number 5, holding in your urine. A small act, a big disaster. Have you ever held your urine just to finish a football game, or sat through a meeting without getting up, even when your bladder was screaming for relief? Every time you do that, you're unknowingly squeezing the life out of your prostate. It might sound exaggerated, but this is a truth most men don't realize until it's too late. When you hold in your urine, your bladder stretches to its limit, creating massive downward pressure on your delicate prostate below. Imagine your prostate as a small cushion being crushed over and over again every day. How long do you think it can withstand that pressure before it becomes inflamed, swollen, and painful? But the damage doesn't stop there. Retained urine becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. This leads to issues like burning urination, constant urgency, or a weak stream, and it significantly increases your risk of urinary tract infections. From one seemingly innocent habit, you could be turning your health into a ticking time bomb, waiting to explode. And yet, holding in urine isn't even the worst thing many men are unknowingly doing to their prostates. There's another hidden threat, something millions of men carry on their bodies every single day, completely unaware that it may be silently destroying their prostate. Habit number 4, coffee, alcohol, and cigarettes. The prostate's silent killers. I once had a patient named George, 68 years old. He used to call coffee his morning resurrection. But every night, George had to get up at least 5 times to urinate. He was exhausted, sleep-deprived, and starting to lose trust in his own body. He thought it was just aging, but it wasn't. It was the result of a trio of habits he'd held onto for decades. Coffee, alcohol, and cigarettes sound familiar? Separately, they're harmful, but together, they create a perfect storm that silently wrecks your prostate from the inside. Caffeine can tighten the bladder neck, making you feel the urge to urinate constantly. It also irritates the prostate, triggering low-grade inflammation. Alcohol disrupts hormone balance, especially testosterone, and fuels inflammation, causing the prostate to swell uncontrollably. Cigarettes? They don't just damage your lungs. They also constrict blood vessels, reduce blood flow to the prostate, and interfere with your body's natural healing ability. George made a change. He gradually cut back on strong coffee and switched to peppermint tea in the afternoons. He swapped his beer for grape juice, and within 2 weeks, he was waking up only twice a night, sleeping deeper, waking up more refreshed. His wife said, "You're like the man I married 10 years ago." I'm not telling you to give up all your pleasures, but if you've ever placed a hand on your lower belly and felt pressure, if you've ever had to choose between going out or staying home because you're afraid of always needing a bathroom, then you owe it to yourself to try a different way of living. Remember, your prostate doesn't need powerful drugs to heal. It just needs you to stop poisoning it every single day. Habit number 3, not controlling belly fat, the silent enemy of your prostate. Think belly fat is just a cosmetic issue. The truth is far more alarming. It's a ticking time bomb, silently damaging your prostate every single day. Few people realize that the fat around your waistline acts like a hormone factory, specifically producing estrogen, the female hormone that spells disaster for male health. The more belly fat you carry, the lower your testosterone levels drop. Testosterone is the vital male hormone that keeps your prostate healthy. This hormonal imbalance causes the prostate to grow abnormally, leading to enlargement and a chain of serious problems. Frequent nighttime urination, weak flow, urinary retention, chronic infections, and even erectile dysfunction. I vividly remember a patient named Arthur, 72 years old. Just a few months ago, he complained about waking up at least 4 times a night to pee, turning sleep into a nightmare. After losing just 6 pounds by cutting sugar and taking daily morning walks, he came back to my office in disbelief. For the first time in years, I slept through the night. No more struggling to reach the bathroom. Just by keeping your waistline under control, ideally below 40 inches, 102 centimeters, You're not only protecting your prostate, but also dramatically improving your overall quality of life. Start with small steps. Cut back on sugar, walk every day, and never underestimate this factor. The results may change your life. Habit number 2, stress, the invisible toxin destroying your prostate. There's a hidden enemy quietly damaging the prostate health of millions of older men every single day, and no one sees it. No one talks about it. It's not food, it's not alcohol, it's stress, mental strain, silent worries swallowed without a word, sleepless nights spent overthinking, graying with anxiety while pretending everything's fine. I once asked a 68-year-old patient why he never shared the pressures he was facing. He gave a faint smile and said, "I just don't want to bother anyone, doc. I can handle it." But his body couldn't. Years of handling it raised his cortisol, the stress hormone, weakening his immune system, increasing inflammation, and slowly swelling his prostate. This isn't just about psychology, it's biology. Cortisol disrupts hormonal balance and fuels chronic inflammation. When the prostate becomes chronically inflamed, it doesn't just cause frequent urination and a weak stream, it silently raises your risk of prostate cancer. And the worst part? Most men don't realize it until it's far too late. But this is something you can take control of. Just 5 minutes of deep breathing each morning, a phone call to an old friend, a good night's sleep at 10 p.m., allowing yourself to speak from the heart. These small actions don't just ease your mind, they may also protect your prostate from stress, the invisible destroyer. Habit number 1, skipping prostate checkups. Many men over 60 suffer in silence, embarrassed by the inconveniences down there. Some avoid seeing a doctor out of shame. Others are afraid of hearing something they don't want to know, so they choose the familiar path: silence, endurance, denial. But that silence often robs them of the most precious opportunity, the chance for early detection and gentle healing without medication or surgery. The prostate doesn't just swell overnight. It starts with small warnings: weak flow, difficulty urinating, and waking up 2 or 3 times a night. But if you don't listen, inflammation builds quietly, pressure increases, and eventually, the damage becomes irreversible. And by the time you notice, it might already be advanced, requiring strong medications, even surgery. A 67-year-old patient once told me, "If I had come in just 6 months earlier, I might have avoided this painful operation." In truth, prostate checkups aren't nearly as scary as you might think. A simple PSA blood test and a quick ultrasound, just a few minutes once a year, can help you preserve years of health, freedom, and independence. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying it because I've seen far too many men regret waiting. Don't let a moment of embarrassment cost you years of well-being. If you're over 55, start your annual checkups today. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a mark of courage. You've spent decades of your life carrying burdens and making sacrifices. You were the man who never allowed himself to fall, who never showed exhaustion, who kept going, for your family, for your loved ones, for something greater than yourself. And yet, just when you thought you could finally rest, you're faced with a bitter truth. Your body isn't what it used to be. Your sleep is interrupted by nightly trips to the bathroom. You feel off balance, fatigued, disconnected, uncertain, and worst of all, you feel like you're no longer yourself. Maybe you've told yourself, "I'm just getting old. This is normal." But it's not. I'm here to tell you that this is not normal. You're not broken. You're not too old. You don't deserve to suffer like this. The truth is, no one ever showed you how to take care of your body the right way after 60. Society tells older men to stay silent, to hide weakness, and to treat self-care as something shameful. But the truth is the opposite. Taking care of yourself is brave. It's wise. It's an act of love for yourself. You should never feel ashamed of experiencing nighttime urination, prostate issues, intimacy problems, or mental fatigue. These are not signs of decline. They're signals. This signals that it's time to begin a new journey, one of learning to love and care for your body, listening to it, and adjusting the small things. And you deserve that journey. You deserve restful sleep. You deserve a meaningful connection with your partner. You deserve to walk with confidence. You deserve peaceful, independent years ahead. Don't let outdated beliefs stop you. Don't let embarrassment or self-doubt steal these beautiful final chapters of your life. If you're still with me, stand up, walk around for a moment, take a sip of water. Know this, you just made a good choice. You are not alone. Millions of men are quietly facing the same battle, and you have the power to change your story. Share this video with a fellow man, an old friend, a brother, a father, an uncle, anyone you know who may be silently enduring the same struggle. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep sending you natural, practical, and compassionate solutions so you can live strong, live free, and most importantly, live as your true self. Aging is not the end. It's the beginning of something new if you choose the right path.